to you live from the Elliott Avenue Studios. This is The Barber Shop. Brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail, the official auto detail provider of the Seattle Seahawks. And by the Trufant Family Foundation, an organization aimed at improving the community one kid at a time. With Marcus Trufant, here's T. Holla.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Barbershop Show. My name is T. Holla.
And yes, it's Marcus Trufant. What up?
And we want to say thank you for joining us here for another episode of the show. This show is brought to you by Home Trust Lending in Kirkland, Washington. Our friend Rich over there taking care of your home loan needs.
Rich Hunt, he's our guy. He's our mortgage guy, actually. A member of the WAMP, NAMB, and the Ethical Lending Foundation. So you know he's doing it right, man. Rich Hunt, give him a call. 206-409-5273. 206-409-5273.
Hey, you gave Rich a whole lot of initials right there. What is all that?
He's got
DEA, FBI, CIA. What is all that, man?
Hey, man, all I know is he just won some award for lending.
Nice.
No joke. Like, he's like one of the top 100 lenders in the country.
That's what's up.
That's up. So if you need some home financing, some refinances, some home HELOCs, mortgages, home purchases, go see Rich, man. True. It's been a hell of a week. We've been gone for 2 weeks, man. We took a week off for Thanksgiving. We are back in the building, man. First and foremost, man, how was your holiday, man?
My holiday was great, T. Family, friends, you know how we do it. My family is so big, and it's tough to get everybody together on holiday. So I would say the last couple of years we've kind of been breaking it up into chunks. But our holiday was great, man. Did it up at the house. I'm at the head of the table now, so you know what I'm saying.
Wait a minute.
It's I can honestly say I can say it's been kind of funny because my dad last couple of years been coming to my house, so you know what I'm saying.
So you get to make the rule now?
I scooped my dad over, so you know what I'm saying. I got this. I'm at the head of the table now, but it was great, man.
Did you get to cut a turkey or what?
Yes, I've been cutting the turkey, and shout out to Miss Jessica Trufant, Fab 5 mom, putting it down. She did the cooking, a lot of cooking. Made it happen. I just brought up the tables and brought the chairs up and do all the runs to the stove. I don't cook, but I don't mind.
I hear you. So before you jump off the whole turkey carving thing, you thought I was gonna let you slip like that.
All right.
So I just got to bring this up because I know a few years back, like I cook, right? I do the turkeys. Sometimes I do a ham. I do all the sides.
You do everything. All right. I get it.
No, from time to time I don't. Like sometimes we just go to my parents' house and they do it, but I bring something too as well.
Right.
But I had never carved a turkey. I had never got the head of the table like you, right?
Okay.
My pops is usually in control of carving the turkey.
Right.
So how was your carving skills? That's what I need to know.
You know what? This was like 3 or 4 go round for me, so it wasn't my first go round was real nasty. Pops actually came back over and kind of like, give me that knife, boy, and kind of went to work. But I was good. I was good with that. You live and you learn, so I'm there now, man. So yeah, it's all good, man.
Right on.
So how does it feel, though, to be able to take that over from Pops, though?
It's big though, man. It's big. It's a coming of age thing. I'm a grown man, but when you're used to doing something for so many years, it just feels right. I always go down to mom's house and they cook, and mom's cook, all the sisters and everybody cook, and then I got grandpa and pops as everybody's there. So you know, as you keep living, things happen in life, and people pass, and you kind of create these new traditions as you go along. And so you know, I hope my kids enjoy our tradition just like I enjoyed mine as a young man.
Speaking of traditions, though, you guys have a new tradition that you started in the Trufant family, the Santa breakfast, pancake breakfast. That took place since the last time we were on there, right?
Yes, and that was right after Thanksgiving, so it was that following Sunday, and that was great, man. At the Fairmont Hotel, 300-plus people up there in the 300-plus people up there in the ballroom, and we raised a lot of money for the Trufant Family Foundation Scholarship Fund, man, helping out these underrepresented kids from Tacoma, Seattle, and partnering communities and just make it happen, man. Trying to give these kids opportunities that they might not have, man. It was great. It was a good look. Everybody had a good time, too. It's not your normal breakfast. It's a lot of flair that's involved. I'm not going to tell you because I want people to come to the event.
Yeah.
T, I know you ain't been yet, so I need you to come out next year.
Since you're doing pancakes and stuff, I'm trying to cut back on them carbs, man. So, man, we're going to have to have some gluten-free or something. No, I'm just playing, man. Yeah, I'll definitely be there next year, man. Shoot,
okay.
Absolutely. If I can shake these other Harlem monsters that I got at my house, maybe I should bring them too,
Yeah.
They like pancakes
That's
too.
what it's for.
They like cakes
I like
too.
pancakes.
I got to tell you what I did today, man. So right now, it is the first week of December, and guess what I did? I'm gonna let you try to guess. Just real quick.
First week, you didn't go Christmas shopping already, did you?
Oh hell!
Oh no!
Hell no!
I was about to say,
You go to the gym?
I did that too, but that's I try to get in there pretty regularly nowadays,
Okay.
man. I'm getting svelte. I'm getting ripped. But that's not what I did. What I did is I turned the radio station today, man, and I put it on Christmas Carol station.
Warm 106.
Yeah, we're not going to get no plugs, but you did.
Yeah.
I put it on the Christmas music, man. It was time, man. I've been stressed out. I've been riding around mad at people, just in the car mad, and I was like, I can't do this no more. Yeah, I was on my whole Grinchness right now. But I did it literally like on the way here to the studio. Yeah, people was trying to run me off the road, and
Dig.
I was like, man, let me stop before something bad happened, man. So I cut the Christmas music on. So is it too soon for the Christmas music?
Nah, you right on time. I got my lights up already.
Oh yeah.
I got lights up. I had my lights up before Thanksgiving.
You got yours up in like October, right?
Actually, and I think I had my tree up actually before Thanksgiving. But yeah,
you're an overachiever.
It is not too early, man. I'm one that I have to hold back actually from playing Christmas music during other times of the year.
Right.
So you know what I'm
because
saying?
you're a Christmas baby.
I'm a Christmas baby. Me and Jesus.
Yes, those that don't know, Marcus
right.
Trufant was born on Christmas Day.
Hey,
him and Jesus.
Hey.
They have something in common.
Yes.
More than just your long, lengthy hair.
Yes.
Hair Jesus had
wool.
locks. And yes, you do have the hair of wool.
Yes.
Marcus got a good grade of hair right now. Y'all, I just want to let y'all know because you can't see him. He came in tonight with a fresh haircut. This is the barbershop, and if you come around with your hair looking not fresh, you can get clowned. But Marcus is trimmed, high and tight.
Hey, I appreciate that, T.
Yeah,
I appreciate that,
just-
brother.
it's
You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
It's just jealousy from a man who can't grow hair. You know what I'm talking about? Lots of hot stuff happening in sports this past week since we've been off the air. The top thing that's been happening in Seattle, it's been a top thing in Seattle. It's been a top thing in college sports. A shocker. Huskies head football coach Chris Peterson stepped down from the position of head coach after 6 seasons coaching the Washington Huskies in really what was a shocker of a decision, a stunning decision that nobody saw coming. It came out of left field. It was literally like the Huskies, I hate to bring this up, True, but it was shortly after the Huskies beat the Washington State Cougars in the Apple Cup.
You hate to bring this
I
up.
hate to bring it up. I didn't want to rub it in because it's only like, the 6th, 7th year in a row. I'm not.
Get him. Okay.
But, the Huskies were, they were having a down season. They come off a big win versus the Cougars to take the Apple Cup. They are bowl eligible heading into a bowl game. You would think that, at the end of the season on an upward trajectory like that a coach would not step down, and he did. He retired and said that he's had enough, and he's turned the reins over to the defensive coordinator, Jimmy Lake, who is now the head coach of the Washington Huskies. So, True, with this information, man, Chris Peterson just suddenly deciding to retire after having such a storied career as a head coach, not just at Washington, but at Boise State as well. What is your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts, T, first of all, I'm going to take that punch that you just threw at me about the Apple Cup. I'll take it. I'll take it. And it's well-deserved because the Cougs ain't on their game. Ain't on it. But, man, as far as for me, Chris Peterson, I took the approach that you never know what's going on behind closed doors. From the outside looking in, it looked like that he's this, energetic, kind of hard-nosed, it's either his way or the highway kind of philosophy of a coach that he's really all in and he's all about the kids, and he is. But you never know what's going on in the life of a coach or an athlete, man. It's so much that goes on behind closed doors, and the work-life balance. That's what he talked about as far family and what you have to put in as far as being a coach. If you want to be a good coach, it takes over your life, and everything else has to take a back seat. So that can really take a toll on you. He has children, right? Yeah, and a wife. So you miss, holidays, birthdays. You miss all that little time in between playing with your kids as they grow up and stuff like that. So I could feel him. Now that I'm retired, all that time I miss, I feel like I'm trying to make up time right now. So, all the ballets, all the dance recitals, all the pickups and drop-offs from school and stuff like that. I'm doing all that because I feel like I miss so much of that being a pro player, and I could assume it's the same for a coach. It's even worse for a coach. So when people ask me, True, do you want to go back and you want to coach the DBs and doing all? I say a quick no. Absolutely not. Because I know the time that comes with it. Yeah, no. So I feel them 100%, and you never know what's going on.
So did your brother actually play for Coach Pete?
No, he played for Sark.
Okay, so he was gone before Coach Peterson got there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I was wondering if maybe he had got a chance to play for him and see what it was like to play for him, because I've talked to some of the younger guys, and I get an idea of the kind of guy that Coach Peterson was to play for, the kind of mentor he was. But I agree with a lot of everything, but pretty much basically everything you said, True. But, as a fan or as alumni or as people from the outside looking in, and this goes along with everything, and it goes hand in hand with what you were saying, people will look at Coach Peterson and say, why would he make this decision at this time? He is at a position where he has a dream job. Anybody that's coaching college football would love to be at a Power 5 school with such a tradition and history that the University of Washington has, to have a winning record as a coach. You look at his record right now, he's one of the winningest coaches in college football, period, point blank, of all active coaches. You look at what he's done at the University of Washington. He came at a time when this team was really struggling, when this program was struggling, and brought them to a place where they were experiencing 10-win seasons every year. They had 10-plus wins every season. So people on the outside are looking at that, and on top of the fact that he's making millions of dollars
cash money
every year, right? Mm-hmm. And so people on the outside would be like, hey, look, he's a quitter. Why would you quit on that? What's your deal, man? And again, that's how people don't understand a lot of the pressures and stresses that are associated with that position and with that job.
He's also 1-4 in bowl games.
Well, there's that.
So let's not sugarcoat it.
There's that.
Right? And if you're at a Power 5 conference, you need to win bowl games, right? So let's just I get it. His winning percentage is great. He's done a lot of really good things, but you got to win bowl games. You got to win bowl games because boosters have demands. And if you're bringing the program back from the 0-12 seasons that y'all had,
the T-Weezy years, right? But the Tyrone,
if you're bringing them from that, you can't bring into mediocrity. You have to win the big games. So there is the counter to that. And now I get it, a lot of stress, a lot of time commitment.
Right.
But as an athlete, you know what you're getting into. As a coach, you know what you're getting into. It's not like all of a sudden he came from Boise and people were like, oh, yeah, you got to clock in 20 more hours a week.
Right.
But here's the deal, though. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I agree that maybe he should have won some more bowl games. Absolutely. And as a fan and as an alumni, you want to see them win those big games against those big programs. And he's had some big games. You think about it. He was actually in the college football playoffs a few years ago facing an Alabama team. And, of course, we didn't fare so well in that game. And then they went on to play a Penn State in a Fiesta Bowl, and they played the Ohio State Buckeyes last year in the Rose Bowl, and they should have been more competitive in those games. That being said, I don't think he was on the outs if he didn't want to be. I think he had a green light to still continue to do the things that he wanted to do. But listening to him talk, and seeing him on a weekly basis, when I would go down there and sit in on those press conferences, I could tell that there was something amiss. I could tell that there was something that he wasn't really enjoying his time in Washington doing what he was doing to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could tell, and I didn't know whether it was just, again, the stresses of the job, the stresses of dealing with the media. Coming from a smaller market like Boise, he obviously could. I think he could run things in Boise, right? And when you come to a city like Seattle, it's a major market, and there's a lot of pressures associated with the major market that's not associated with Boise State, and a lot of people that had certain demands on him and what he wanted to do here in Seattle. And that's what I thought originally. And I think maybe that too still had something to do with it. But again, what Marcus said. It's more than a full-time job. What people out there don't understand, and that's what I want our listeners to really fully understand about being a college coach, especially at this level. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's not even a 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. job. This is a 24/7 job.
Absolutely.
When you go as a coach and you sit down in a high school recruit's living room and you talk to his mom and dad, or whoever his guardians are, you are taking control and responsibility for their son. And that means you're going to make sure that he goes to class and gets that education that he needs, right? If anything fails in that department, that falls on your shoulders as a coach. You got to make sure he's walking the thin line when he's walking around campus,
right,
and when he's walking around in the streets, and he's not winding up on somebody's police blotter, right? As a coach, you have to worry about that 24/7. You have to make sure they're eating right. You got to make sure that they're doing the things that they need to do on campus. I mean, at the end of the day, and then you have to worry about what they're going to do on the field. So
right,
it could wear you down, man.
Yeah, but if they're really worried about, athletes eating right, then wouldn't they? Isn't he the one that came out against student athletes getting paid?
No, I don't. No, he actually didn't. He actually said, this is something that it's inevitable. It's coming down the pipe, and I don't have to deal with it right now, so I'm not going to. I don't want to talk about it right now.
So he dipped.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, well, I think that might have something to do with it as well.
And that's what I'm saying. Everybody got a breaking point. So with everything that comes with it, I know that we can say, okay, Coach P, you knew that this came with the territory and all that. And we all do. As athletes, we know what we're getting ourselves into, and we have fun, and we love it, and we like being there. But it comes a time where things just get hard, and you have a choice. You always got a choice.
Right.
So,
and he's in a position where he has a choice, right?
Absolutely,
which is crazy, because now the real question then, those chips have fallen, but now let's talk about the real issues, and that is, what does this do for the expectations on Coach Lake then? Because if this guy is the bar, right? This guy is the standard now. So how fair are they going to be to Lake?
True.
Tough. It's gonna be tough on them, but I don't know enough about Coach Lake, but he seems to be a little fiery, and he seems to be able to take shots of the media, et cetera, et cetera. So I think he's gonna be okay, but it comes down to wins and losses. If he wins, everything's gonna be great, but if the team starts to go into the tank, of course they're going to point the finger because he's a new guy that stepped in. But, I'm rooting for him. I would like to see him do well. I know I'm a Coug, but I always like to see brothers do well, and I hope he does well.
So here's the deal with Coach Jimmy Lake. So I've been watching his progress really since he's been here at the University of Washington in Seattle. And he's really one of the most highly coveted coaches in college football. He has been for several years. He's the defensive coordinator for the Washington Huskies, has been since 2016. He was the defensive backs coach before that, and he's been with Jimmy Lake since Boise. He actually had a stint at Washington years ago under Coach Gilbertson. But looking at him, again, he's one of the most heavily touted, highly touted, heavily recruited assistants in all of college football. They tried to get him at Alabama to be a defensive coach there. They tried to get him at Florida State. They've tried to get him all across the National Football League for the last 4 or 5 years. And he's really held on and held out here at University of Washington. That's why Coach Peterson made him a defensive coordinator and, bumped him up in pay a little bit. And I think they've been grooming him for this position. I think Coach Peterson knew that he would probably be his successor. They wanted to keep him here in Seattle because he was such a good coach. That being said, he's a young guy. He has a lot of spirit. He has a lot of fire. He's a hungry guy. And I think that's what Coach Peterson said was the thing that this program needed, a hungry coach, as opposed to someone like Coach Pete, who is obviously – He's eating.
Right.
He's eating, right? So I like it. I like the choice. I do believe that he will, unfortunately, have a short leash.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just because he's a young coach, he's a black guy, and I'm just being honest with everybody that's out there. I'm not telling anybody that secret that they don't know that they're not keeping from themselves. If you're being honest with yourself, most times coaches of color have a short leash.
I mean, look at the guy at FSU.
Yeah. Look, everywhere they usually. Coach Sumlin had a short leash. Everybody gets a short leash, and I feel like this team they're in a good position right now because he's being hired right now, which gives him 9 months to learn on the fly how to be the head coach of this Washington Husky program.
What do you think it's just going to do to the recruiting classes, though?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the other good part. I know for a fact, first and foremost, that other colleges are already coming to poach Husky recruits. As soon as Coach Peterson announced his retirement, I have it under great advisement from some recruits.
And you got the inside.
I got the scoop. You getting it right here on Barbershop. I'm not going to drop no names, but that coaches have started calling these players that have already verbally committed to the University of Washington. But Coach Lake has a reputation of being a very good recruiter. Mm-hmm. He has very good relationship.
Where's he from, T?
America.
Okay.
North or south?
America. I'm not exactly sure where he's from. But he's kind of young, kind of hip.
Yeah.
And
got
a little swag to him. I seen him in the purple Charger, revving the engine. So he has a great rapport with the players. So hopefully that won't become a challenge for these guys, and hopefully these young guys that are on the team will rally behind him, particularly in the bowl game that's coming up. We don't know which one it is. We'll announce that probably next week when we figure out more about where these teams are going to be playing come bowl season. But again, I hope it works out for him, especially as an alumni. I'm looking forward to see what he can do as a head coach. Some other shakeups that have taken place this past week, True. I want to tell you a story about this Panthers owner. The Carolina Panthers owner, David Tepper, he made a phone call this past week and invited Ron Rivera, their head coach down there in Carolina, into his office. And he said, "Come on in, Ron. Have a seat." Ron had a seat. He said, "Ron, you know I love you, right?" Yeah, I know you love me. You know you did a great job of, taking this franchise to some good years, right? Yeah, I know that. But you know I love you, right? Yeah.
Good. Then you fired. Who, me? Yeah, you. I'm fired? And wrote you fired, too. You fired. Why you gonna fire me for, Picky? Shut up! Shut up! Go back, keep your goddamn mouth shut!
He got fired, man.
No, hell no!
Coach Ron Rivera, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, got fired this week with several games left in the season. It's been a tough road for the Panthers, man. This season they're 5-7, third in the NFC South. It's been a tough couple of years. Last season they were 7-9. True. What do you think about this situation down there in Carolina? It's rough down there right now.
Yeah, it's tough, and I've heard rumors that this could be a package deal with Coach and Cam, and they just looking to kind of blow stuff up and kind of just start from scratch, man. And that's it's tough. They say Cam, I don't know how many surgeries he's had in the last couple of years, but he's starting to get up there in age, or so what they say is getting old. I think he'll be 31 ish, and he's coming off some feet injuries off his feet. But yeah, man, I think it's tough. But wins and losses, that's what it's about. And we talked about it when we was talking about Coach P and the boosters and the money and everything that comes with it. So the owner got to protect his bottom line. And sometimes you just get a gut feeling and you got to go all in. So it kind of sounds like that's what the owner's doing, and he wants to start this thing from scratch, man, and get it cleaned up. And it's tough, and it's no loyalty in this league. I know that's what they preach, and that's how they brainwash us, them,
players.
Yes. Of course, in the team meeting, this is what we're going to do as a family. We're going to ride together. We're going to die together.
Mm-hmm. But then you get cut.
Yeah. But that's just what it is, man. And it's all about money. So you can't be mad about it. You just got to prepare for it.
But what about situations like this when they take a coach and fire him during the season, like the midway point during the season where they still have games left? I mean, is it really like throwing the towel in, but do you consider it like almost disrespectful? Because I think I understand it's a business to some degree, but like to me it seems like throwing the towel in.
I think I think it is like throwing the towel in, but I'm not an owner of a team, so I don't know exactly where his head may be. But I think it's just one of those things. I don't know if you're saving face or if you're kind of you're throwing in the towel. You're planning for next year, I guess is what you're doing. So by firing your coach, I guess I don't know if you can start interviewing. I don't know if you can start looking at other coaches. I don't really know exactly how it works, but I know that he's already looking towards next year.
Yeah, well, the owner, David Tepper, actually really came out and said that he thought it was time. Why specifically now is I was informed of other teams doing different types of searches out there for coaches, I'm assuming, and I'm not going to start a search and not tell Ron. I'm gonna start searching and tell him, and because he's too good of a man. And I guess that is showing him some kind of respect to a degree.
Though.
Allegedly,
allegedly, but still, I mean, here's the thing. So he's the winningest coach in that franchise's history, and he's a 2-time winner of the NFL's Coach of the Year award. So I think, to some degree, you kind of have to show him some kind of respect, don't you?
No, absolutely not. There's no respect in the league. It's a be here now, be gone tomorrow league. I mean, the reality is that this gentleman, Tepper, he purchased the team in 2018. So it was time for him to just be like, listen, I gave you a chance. I gave you enough respect to keep you. You're not my guy.
Yeah, and that's the owner with the mustache, right?
No,
he got a bald head.
Yeah, he ain't bald head, dude.
It's the bald headed dude.
Yeah,
he looked more like me than you.
Okay, yeah. I'm thinking of the Jacksonville cat. You're right. Yeah. So it's one of those things, man. Owners and they all play this thing, and there is always some ego involved. Just like players got ego, I would understand, or I would think that the owners got the same thing. It's like they playing a game and they all want to be the best. So they coaches, players, everybody is expendable because they got to get to the bottom line.
Right. So at 57 years old, what do you guys think? Is he done? Is he done coaching?
Cowboys, baby. You know he's going to the. You know
the Cowboys is about to shake the coach.
I'm willing to put $100 right now that he ends up with the Cowboys within the next 2 years. Anybody want to take me on that?
I'm not going to take you on that. I don't think he's done, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done. No.
Cowboys, $100.
Okay, we got him on record saying Cowboys. I'm not.
Oh, come on, dog.
I'm not putting them down. I don't know. No, I'm not a gambling man, so I'm just going to set on my hands and say we'll see what happens with him next year. Either way it goes, I think he's a good coach. I think he deserves to be in the National Football League still, and hopefully things work out for him. And you guys alluded to it earlier. I think this is the writing on the wall for Cam as well. Cam will be looking for a new home next year as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But we won't be watching them as closely as we will be watching these Seahawks, though. I know y'all saw that game this past week.
Yeah, we seen it.
Monday Night Football. It was the only show in town. The Seahawks were doing their thing. It was a big, big game. The entire world had their eyes trained on Seattle. And by the way, don't you guys love it when Seattle is on these primetime games like Sunday night, Monday Night Football when they're the only show in town?
Love it.
It is a beautiful thing. They make the city look like, man, like I want to live there.
I was just going to say that. When they kept showing the Ferris wheel down there on the water and all that, I was like, damn, that looked like fun down there.
Let me get on there. I'm going to go down and see what's going on. Yes. But the Seahawks went out there, handled business versus the Minnesota Vikings. They came out with a 37-30 victory. And, of course, the day before, the San Francisco 49ers lost, which now means that the Seahawks are number one atop the NFC West. They are in control of their own destinies from here on out. But first and foremost, True, what do you think about that game that they played this past week on Monday night versus the Vikings?
Well, Monday Night Football is when, of course, the lights is on and everybody want to show out. Everybody wants to show out.
Before I get into what you thought about the game, and I want to make sure that you get this and the people get to hear this.
Okay.
Because you have obviously played on Monday night. You're the only one in this room that is played on Monday night.
Da, 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 da.
Tell us what that is like playing on Monday night. This is an unscheduled version of The Truth with True.
The Truth with
True.
Yeah.
Well, let me find some music for you. But you tell us what it's like to play on Monday night.
Monday night is just like I said, when the lights come on and you know everybody is watching, and not just your family members, your wife, your kids, but all your boys in the league, everybody you went to high school with, everybody you played with in college, everybody you know, because just like you said, it's not Sunday, it's not a ton of games to watch, so everybody's eyes glued to the tube. So it's pressure, and you feel it, and you know, but it's time to show out, man, and it's stressful because you sit through Sunday and you watch everybody, and then you got to go and do it the next day. So I would say it's a little nerve-wracking, but it's fun, and if you show out, you make a lot of money because you know everybody's watching, and you building that resume, and you're stacking them dollars if you go out and you play well. So
yes, sir. So I can't compare. By the way, that is The Truth with True, ladies and gentlemen. You only get that here in the barbershop.
I know you heard me on the radio.
True.
Hey.
Yes, sir. I was going to get in there sooner or later. The only thing I could compare that to was I know that there were times that, at UW we would have big games and we would play primetime games, and we would just be so hyped up, man. But we would get, put the oil on your arm so your arm be looking good. That's what I want you to tell me. Like, you be in the locker room doing curls and getting ready because all the cameras are going to be on.
And I wasn't really that dude, though. Usually my wardrobe was like a 6 out of 10, but it was a lot of cats on the team, cleats, and they had to have, the extra 2 wristbands, and I'm going to go with these certain cleats. I'm going to spat it this way. I'm going to do the candy cane spat. I'm going to do a little white, little black, and just a bunch of different stuff. And that's just part of it. And just like I said, everybody's watching, so you really got to come with your best everything, and that's what it's about.
Right. Well, the Seahawks definitely. Go ahead.
What's your most memorable moment from Monday night?
Most memorable moment from Monday night, man. A lot of them, I made a lot of tackles, so a lot of Monday nights.
He was a tackling.
A lot of Monday nights tend to run together, but I know Monday night. I think we played the Packers one year here in Seattle, and I got to pick off Brett Favre. So, like I tell people all the time, Hall of Fame might not be in my future, but I picked off and made a lot of plays against a lot of Hall of Fame players, and I got the pictures. So when my kids get old enough and they don't think daddy's cool no more, that's when I'll bust off them pictures. Bam!
Yeah, bam! Look what I did.
Bam!
Yeah. You did play
in your face.
You did play against some superstar players in your day, man. Monday nights or Sundays or whenever they played. I do remember seeing you do your thing out there against some of the greatest, some of the best.
Right.
So you do have that on your resume, True. Talking about this Seahawks organization and what they were able to do this past Monday. Again, great game. I think it was defensively, they played an awesome game as well. Some of the keys to their victory were, I said before the game, that they needed to take Dalvin Cook, their star running back from the Minnesota Vikings, out of the game plan. He was everything to that organization, to that offense, and to that franchise. He's the second. He has the second most yards from scrimmage in the National Football League, second only to Christian McCaffrey. And he can catch the ball out of the backfield, 455 yards receiving this season out of the backfield. So I said if they took care of him, it was going to be a good night for the Seahawks defense. And they did. They took him out of the game. He actually got hurt and got put out of the game.
Right.
So what were some of your highlights? What did you see? I mean, again, it was lots of things to pick from offensively and defensively.
Well, I think the type of game it was a different game for the Seahawks. It was one of those games where everybody, I know that Russ played a good game. There were some things that happened that were not uncharacteristic, but Russ was normalized. He threw an interception. Well, not threw an interception, but the tip ball.
Yeah, he tipped. It's kind of was a tip when he slapped it down.
Yeah.
When his hops wasn't quite hoppy.
And we used to seeing Russ do everything perfect, so that just it kind of brought him down. But he's still my MVP. But it was the rushing attack of the Seahawks really kind of stood out to me. It slowed the game down. It was consistent, and then, like you said, it was one of those defensive battles. So when you have games like that, your running game got to be strong. And the combination of Penny and Carson, I think it really was the tail of the game. Third downs, being able to convert on third down. I think the Seahawks, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know they did a very good job on third down conversions. They kept pushing. I know they own the time of possession, so that really that's another testament to the running game, and they really played good defense. So if you can do that, that's what it comes down to. When they took away Cook, they slowed Cousins down, because if he gets going, of course, he can make it move around and he can make things happen. But in the secondary locked it down, and they played good, man. I've been high on my man over there, Mr. Flowers over there.
Yeah,
I've been waiting to see him kind of shine and do some thing, because I really like the height. I really like what he brings to the corner spot, and he's had an up and down season, but this man got a lot of potential. He's still young. I think this year 2 or 3 or
I think it's 2.
Okay, yeah. This man is I think he's going to be a really good player, and he's going to make a lot of money in this league, but he's playing tight coverage. He got the size and everything, and he made some really good plays, and you can tell that he's really concentrating. He really respects the game, and he's trying to get better, and I love to watch him play.
Yeah, and my homie Ifedi had no holding penalties.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. There's a God somewhere. And he was with Ifedi this past week. They had a great game all the way around. The Vikings did end up making it tighter than it was, for the first 2 to 3 quarters of the game. They ended up tightening it up in the end. But the Seahawks held on, and they did a great job. I like the way the receivers came through, and I think that Russell Wilson did a great job of finding the open guy. And the thing about the Seahawks receiving core and Russell Wilson is that he's not just training in on one particular receiver. He has a couple of stars and guys that he likes, obviously,
right.
With Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, the rookie. But, I think, you saw this past week, you saw a bunch of other receivers get in the game and get in the mix and catch touchdown passes. And, again, I think it's just a testament to what they're doing there on offense is they're finding the open guy. They're finding the hot hand, and then they're making it work in that situation. Probably my most favorite thing about this Seahawks game, and I want to get both your opinions on this, was the touchdown celebration. Did you guys see the touchdown celebration that these guys did with the tribute to New Edition? They did the If It Isn't Love routine. Man, to me, that was the most fire routine I've seen in ages, probably in ever. I'm trying to think of a better one. That's what I want to ask you guys. Have you seen a better one, and what do you think about the entire celebration that they did?
I loved it, man, and I think it just shows the closeness in how Pete Carroll, John Snyder run that ship over there. They let these guys be loose, have fun, be themselves, take care of business first, of course, but they created this environment where guys can come in, be loose, and just play their best football. So you got time, or you're close enough and you feel comfortable enough that you're going to practice this routine.
Right.
During practice, after practice, or whatever you're doing. But I think
they had it down.
Yeah, they had it down. I saw an interview from Mr. Johnny Gill, giving them love, giving them props, saying it was a good look. But I thought it was solid. I thought it was their best one. I know they've done some different stuff, so I'm kind of like, but I thought this one was on point.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I liked about it was the fact that it's also helping, that younger generation connect with good music.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's putting that back on the map. And you're right, True. I mean, what Pete and John do over there, and the wide receivers coach, allowing them to be able to be like, all right, y'all, we're going to get our work in. By the way, we got an extra 5, right? No, that was my favorite one. And it also, I think it alludes to the point that True brought up earlier. It's Monday night. The lights are on.
It's a show.
If you're gonna show up big.
Yeah.
Show up and
show
out.
Absolutely. Again, like you said, True, Johnny Gill gave it props. You can't go wrong when Johnny Gill gives you the props. And then, through the TMZ, we find out that he not only gave him props, but he's been a Seahawks fan. And he follows the squad, which is crazy, being way over in wherever he's from. I know the rest of New Edition is from Boston, but I know he's from the East Coast somewhere. But to have Johnny Gill speak out, it was huge. The Root.com, the online publication, said that this was probably, or they didn't even say probably, said this was the blackest moment in NFL history. So the Seahawks have now officially got the blackest moment in NFL history.
I love it.
Shout out to it. And again, and somebody actually, it was the crazy part about it. Someone was reaching out to me on our official Barbershop Facebook page. And they were like, they were really impressed that they were so, the coordination and the choreography was down. But she was like, were these guys even alive when this came out?
I was thinking that, too. I was thinking the same thing.
That's what I just alluded to, though, like the connect between older music and now.
But that's the thing that I thought about because, being old like me, it seemed like when you say something was hella, you're just gonna put that on me, huh? But when you say like right now, when somebody says, "Oh man, that was like 10 years ago, like that was a decade ago," I'm thinking like, man, that was like 2000. Nah, man, a decade ago is 2010. That's how fast time is flying for me. And in real life, these guys probably weren't born when New Edition dropped. If it isn't love?
A lot of these cats is what? Late 90s babies, probably?
Yeah,
that's
like
crazy.
If you're 23, 24, if you like new in the league, you're 23, 24, right? And that puts you like what?
Because I know my brother was born in 90.
90,
yeah. My brother was born in 90, and he just made 30.
And he's starting to be one of the old heads in the league.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's wild how time is flying,
it's crazy.
So, guys, look, we know that celebration was dope. We know the Seahawks now on top of the NFC West. Looking at the remaining schedule, how do you think the Seahawks are going to fare, man? They got the Rams this weekend. By the way, we are hosting a watch party, which we are going to talk about here in just a second. This weekend at Sam's Tavern in Bellevue. We want to make sure everybody's there. But they have a game on Sunday night, 5:30 against the Rams. Then they got to face the Panthers. They face the Arizona Cardinals, and once again, it's the grudge match with the 49ers. So right now, the Seahawks are 10-2. But before you even go there to where they're going to finish this season out, and this is something I brought up also on our social media, is you guys tell me if you agree with this. If you would have told me 6 months ago that this Seahawks team would be 10-2 at this point in the season, would you believe it?
No.
No way. Hell no. I know I wouldn't have.
Right.
I almost didn't. Like, I was thinking, like, who's on the team? Like, I knew we had Russell Wilson. I know Chris Carson, but we had questions at receiver. We had DK Metcalf coming in. He was an unknown commodity, right? Young guy. They were saying he can't run routes. All he can do is run fast. He's just a big body that can run fast. Doug Baldwin was gone. We don't know what's going to happen there. We had defensive lineman that was injured and out in L.J. Collier. Jaron Reed was suspended. We didn't know. Jadeveon Clowney wasn't even on the roster. We didn't know who was going to play that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I wasn't expecting anything.
Right. Yeah. So it's crazy, T. I say I'm not a stat guy, but I heard something. I stole a stat off TV that the Seahawks are 9-1 in one-score games.
Yes.
So that's why, it doesn't even feel like, because we haven't been seeing those high-flying, high-scoring blowout games, the total domination by, of course, the Legion of Boom and all that kind of stuff that we may be used to seeing. So it's been a lot of tight, close games, but I think that's going to help the Hawks as they go into these last games, and they're going to go into the playoffs, and they're going to be hot, man. They're going to be hard to beat, and nobody's going to want to see them.
The thing about the Seahawks, and I've said this a million times in the past, is that, and I hate to always put it on one guy, but it's honestly the truth. And even Jadeveon Clowney came out this week and said it. He's like, I had no idea that the Seahawks were this good.
Right.
And and a lot of it goes to Russell Wilson.
100%.
Russell Wilson, no matter what you think of him, no matter if you think he's the corny, lame, mom jean wearing, all that, whatever you think about it.
Right.
He's a winner.
He's a
leader, and he could play ball, man. And guys fall in line, and they always have an opportunity to win. It doesn't matter what the score is. These guys, in the fourth quarter, if he has the ball, he has an opportunity to come back. So, looking at their remaining schedule, do you think they're going to end up being the top seed? Do you think they're going to be atop the NFC West? Can they hold on?
I think so. It's just a stat that I gave earlier about having all those close games. I think that's going to push them over the top. And when it comes down to them making the right plays and them finishing the game, I think the Seahawks, that's where I would put my money. Okay. I'm not a gambling man either. I like my money in my pocket. I don't like to put it on the line.
But we know y'all didn't want to take that $100 bet.
I would be comfortable in doing that on the Hawks.
Okay. You think so?
Yeah, I mean, they have all that momentum going right now.
Yeah.
The only game that really worries me, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, is this weekend's game against the Rams, because it's always tough going down there, man. And they just seem to find a way to make it tight.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think we're pretty clear. I think we beat San Francisco in Seattle, though. That's going to be that's going to be the game of the game of the season.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
You know, and again, like you said, they play the Rams. That's always tough. I think they won by 1 point earlier this season. I think it was 30-29. So that should be another tough game. Again, I think the 49ers are going to come down to, it's going to be a tough game versus them. I think the Hawks will win. I think they end up number 1 on the NFC West.
I like it.
It's going to be some home games during the playoffs. And knocking on wood, I hope I don't jinx them, man. But it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch this weekend when the Barbershop is going to be hosting a watch party at Sam's Tavern in Bellevue, Washington.
Hey.
And we need everybody there. We want to see all of our old friends from the Barbershop in there hanging out with me and True. The doors for this party are going to open at 2 p.m. So you can get there. They're going to have a DJ spinning records, 2 DJs, as a matter of fact.
Say word.
Yeah,
huh?
DJ
Okay.
E-Pop and DJ Dr. Fever are going to be in there spinning cuts. We're going to have some raffles, giving away some cool prizes. So, and of course, on top of it all, it's going to be a damn good football game on.
Absolutely, T. I can't wait, T. I might even bring some little special treats of my own to raffle off, man. I'm going to try to make it fun, make it exciting.
We get True treats.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys are there. If you want more information, hit up our Twitter page. You can find out information there. Barbershop Show _ Say that again. Barbershop Show _ to find out more about our official watch party this weekend. It's going down. Again, you are listening to the Barbershop Show. It is brought to you by Home Trust. Lending in Kirkland, Washington. Our friend Rich Hunt is out there taking care of all your mortgage needs. Make sure you get over there and see them. True, this is a story I didn't want to talk about, and I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I would be remiss if I did not bring it up. So we're just going to talk about it for a couple of seconds. It's the Barbershop, so we have to address these things, man.
Right.
This week, there's a man whose name I refuse to mention. We're just going to call him the man that murdered Trayvon Martin. And this week, he has come out with the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard, man, in years. And he has actually filed a lawsuit. And I don't know if you've heard about this, True. Trayvon Martin's murderer filed a lawsuit against his family.
Wow.
His mom, his dad, stepmom, dad. The young lady who said she was talking to Trayvon on the phone when he was killed. The girlfriend
right.
of his. For $100 million. This dude claims he was the victim of a conspiracy along with a malicious prosecution and defamation. And he is suing them all for $100 million. If you don't remember the story about Trayvon Martin and the dude who shot him, Trayvon Martin was a 17-year-old unarmed teenager who was walking home with Skittles and an Arizona iced tea and was attacked and killed, even though he was unarmed, by a so-called neighborhood watchman. And the neighborhood watchman was acquitted and basically got away with murder down there in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's suing. He's suing for $100 million. And I think this is the most sickest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
So I don't know what world we live in where you could kill somebody and then sue their family for being mad at you for killing them.
Right.
So
it's just goes to show, T, man, how this system works and how those certain individuals, certain groups are able to find these loopholes and work stuff into this system. And it's kind of like a no fear attitude of being above the law and thinking you can do any and everything, because that's what this man has been doing since
He been acting a fool since this, man.
The death of Trayvon Martin, all types of foolishness, autograph signings and this and that.
He whooped a woman,
right?
A girl that he was dating,
a couple times. But it's just thinking he's above the law, and
but he is though.
That's what I was just about to say, and they proving him right. They proving him right. So it's just the world we live in, and it's crazy. It's disappointing. It's disgusting, and
it's crazy.
Man, it just is what it is. It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave it alone, man. And I just want to put this on your mind to think about, man. Nipsey Hussle, you know, the young man who was not just an entertainer, rapper, but he was an entrepreneur, a community leader down in Los Angeles, California, who was, providing opportunities for people to do better, to come up out of impoverished situations and to get off the street. And, he was murdered. He was murdered in cold blood. But this dude is still walking around. You feel me? You feel what I'm putting down.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad that we are so confused and so backwards sometimes in our community that we will destroy those that are trying to do good. We will destroy those who are trying to uplift and destroy really our leaders and the people who are our shining stars. But we'll let trash like this walk around, man.
Right.
And do trashy shit like this. So I hope it all works out for the best. I actually hope that this judge, whoever ends up hearing this case or doing whatever, either throws it out or rules in the Martin family's favor and ends up, countersuing this idiot. And I'm just going to leave it at that, man. Let's end on a good note, though, man. Since it's the season, we need to be happy, man.
There we go.
We need to be happy. And I don't know if this is necessarily going to be happy, but this is going to be a little less, a little less heavy when we talk about this. It's been a long time since we did this, True. So I figured we bring back the Blank Stare News, man. I got a couple of stories today that hit me that were Blank Stare News. And if you guys are not familiar, which I'm sure you are, Blank Stare News is that story that you heard this week at some point in time, whether you were at work or you just browsing around online or somebody told you this, and you were just like, oh my, what? You couldn't believe it. It was so dumb or crazy or just wild and wacky. And in the back of your head, you heard the music going off. That's what we call a Blank Stare News. True. Top one that I have. You guys know the guy who is probably now, since, Russell is probably second in MVP voting.
Okay.
Number one is probably, inevitably, Lamar Jackson. He's lighting.
So?
He's lighting the NFL up, man. He's incredible. Every weekend is like a different video game.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, about a week ago, he beat the San Francisco 49ers almost single-handedly. He was just going to town on these guys, man. But some controversy came out after the game. The 49ers TV or radio color analyst had some choice words in regards to Lamar Jackson and why he is so successful. He has actually, Tim Ryan is the guy's name, the color analyst for the 49ers. He's been suspended. And it says that he's been suspended over some controversial comments that he made about Jackson on Monday. Ryan said that there's a particular reason why Lamar Jackson is so good at faking handoffs.
When he's his dark skin color, with a dark football, with a dark uniform, you could not see that thing. I mean, you literally could not see when he was in and out of the mesh point, and and that's going to mean, and you're a half step slow on.
You black ass blackie, your black. I can't tell the difference between your black hand and the black ball and
your black skin and your black jersey. That's a damn shame. That is a damn shame.
Listen, man, I'm almost speechless about that one, man. That's flabbergasted. Obviously, he was suspended.
Right.
I'm sure he'll come back.
One game.
He'll issue an apology. True, what's that what you always say that you're supposed to do? How do you do it?
It don't matter. I don't care if it's Hollywood. It could be an actor, congressman, president, and you get on TV and you put a little water in your face and you get something in your eye and you shed a couple tears and you say, I'm sorry. And I don't know what came over me. But this man is speaking his truth. This is exactly how he feels.
His truth?
Yeah, this is his truth. That's exactly what he thinks. All the years of school that he went to be a color analyst and everything he practiced and learned, this is what he really thinks. Yeah, his hands and his jersey and everything is so black. I know we got the best lights on earth at these stadiums, but because his hand is so black, that's why he's so good.
That's what it was?
Come on, man.
You can see, though, right?
I'm legally blind. I can see, barely.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the other thing, though. I mean, he was practicing that. He was waiting for the right opportunity to say it.
He couldn't wait to say that.
He couldn't wait to say it. But here's the other thing, though. One game? He got suspended one game for that? Come on, man. You might as well just let him come back right away.
Yeah. He's gonna issue that apology, and
he already did.
But he's got to go. He's gonna seek treatment. He's gonna seek help.
But you can't go to races. There's no races. What's the name of that place up there in Kirkland?
Schick-Shadle.
Schick-Shadle.
There's no races. You gonna get your treatment for racism?
What are they gonna call it? Taco truck era? Or I mean, come on, dog. Listen. Once you're racist, you're racist.
No, well, you can get some treatment, some help, and learn his, racial sensitivity and not come on.
Color blindness?
What did he say in the apology? I'm interested in what he said.
He just said that's not him. Yeah, play that song.
Your Honor.
The things I've done.
No, that was definitely one of those. Blank stare news items. One more I got for you guys, man. A few weeks ago, we were, so excited about the controversial quarterback Colin Kaepernick getting an opportunity to work out finally for the National Football League. 32 teams were invited to come watch Colin Kaepernick throw the ball, interview him, talk to him about his opportunities, and see if he's ready to get back in the National Football League. We know what happened. It ended up being a bunch of mess. The NFL really kind of screwed him over with that situation. He ended up bringing his own wide receivers to the workout to throw the football to. And, ultimately the end result was, of all the teams that came to watch Colin, of all the teams that saw the film, nobody picked him up. Nobody picked him up. So we know that, right? We've been following that.
Right.
So what would be worse than just you sitting around and not getting picked up?
I don't know, T. Tell us, T.
Tell us, T.
What happened, T?
Well, one of the receivers that Colin brought with him to this workout, Jordan Vesey, who has been catching the deep balls in these clips that have gone out for Colin Kaepernick, got a job in the National Football League catching footballs for the Washington Redskins. He got signed at Colin Kaepernick's workout while Colin Kaepernick is sitting on the side right now watching.
Maybe they saw something, T. Maybe they saw something.
Obviously, they saw something.
All the scouts was there. Everybody was there. All the decision makers was there. They saw something.
But how does that happen, though, man? You go from Super Bowl contending quarterback to everything quarterback to kneeling quarterback to I can't get a job quarterback to I brought one of my scrubs receivers to catch these balls, to come shank these balls I'm throwing. And he gets a job, and I don't get a job, man. I'm floored. Good for him.
Yeah,
good
true,
for Jordan.
Yeah. Definitely ain't hating on a young man for getting a job. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if he was darker, he could hide the ball, though.
Wait, I got something for you for that one.
Oh, hell no, hell no.
Man, it's just rough out there.
Yeah, that's all bad, man. That's just one of those things, man. It just goes to show that quarterback position, I don't know, it's still stigma around it. You kind of got to fit in the box of what they want you to be and what that's supposed to look like. So I think that's.
What would JC do, though?
Who?
Jay-Z. Yeah, I mean, what would he do? I mean, he orchestrated all of that, so we're going to forget about that?
Hey, man, you can't hate on
Jay-Z.
Jay.
Still trying to
ride
make
with
moves,
Jay.
man. Jay-Z
I get it. No, I get it. But remember when everybody was like, oh, Jay orchestrated that. Jay's giving him another opportunity. Nothing came of it. What's up?
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's still time, brother. It's still
it
time,
ain't
man.
Oh,
Let's
come
do
on,
it.
man.
Believe.
Hey,
You
listen.
got to believe.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Before we get out of here, I just gotta tell you a story. The only story that I've probably heard similar to this that may have been worse, and this is a little bit off topic, but I think it's good because we're in the barbershop and we talk about stuff like this. There was a guy many, many years ago, and I'm telling you a story because I'm an aficionado when it comes to hip hop and when it comes to this particular artist. Years and years ago, there was a movie coming out. And it was about young men growing up in the streets of, I think it was New York. And they were having auditions. And they wanted to bring in Tretch from Naughty by Nature. You remember that Naughty by Nature, Tretch?
Mm-hmm.
Tretch, they brought him in to be to audition for the lead role of Bishop. It was a guy named Bishop in this movie called Juice.
Okay.
And he showed up to the audition, and he brought his friend with him, who just for moral support, to sit in the lobby while he auditioned. And the guy he brought was Tupac Shakur. And Tretch went in there and did the audition, showed out, and came out and was like, okay, and who are you? And they came out when the audition was done, and they saw Tupac and they said, who are you? He's like, oh, I just came with him. And he's like, well, we looking for extras, man. You want to come in here and read? He's like, okay. He went in there and read. And got the starring role in the movie Juice, which really basically catapulted his career. It started the whole thing of Tupac being the thug and created his entire really legacy as an artist, and the rest is history. Tretch got like a role as an extra. He got like
Tretch was in that movie?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
So that's the same type of situation as this happened with Colin Kaepernick, man. Sorry, you got tretched.
You've been tretched.
You've been tretched. Thank you guys for joining us for another Barbershop Show. It's been a blast. Once again, we want to see you guys out there this weekend. December 8th at Sam's Tavern in Bellevue, Washington. It's going down. The Seahawks versus the Rams watch party. 5:30 kickoff. The doors will open at 2. They'll be spinning records, drinking drinks, eating food, having fun, and we're going to have some prizes that we're giving away and raffling off as well. So we want to make sure you're there. True, where can they find us at, homeboy?
Instagram, you can find us at Barbershop Show, at Barbershop Show. And then on Twitter, you can find us at Barbershop Show _ Check us out.
Yes, sir. And until next time, it is me, Terry Holloman, a.k.a. T-Holla. And that's Marcus Trufant. Jose Moreno's in here making sure we stay tight. It's the Barbershop. And by the way, whoever was in the studio had this song mislabeled, man. I sure the hell wasn't trying to play this shit. But it works.